Hi everyone, good afternoon once more. Welcome to today's session. So please, if you are just joining in, you can give us your name, your location, and the name of your startup. So if you are joining in, just introduce yourself and the name of your business and your location so that the facilitator knows where you are logging in from and can effectively communicate with you. So today we have with us here Chidi. Hi Chidi, great to have you here.
Yeah, hi Pascal. Great to be here.
Okay, so we'll be starting immediately. So Chidi is a serial tech entrepreneur and software developer. He founded, grew, and sold two software tech startups before he turned 24, including Lagbook, a social network that garnered over 1 million registered users within 3 years and was acquired by a Canadian startup in 2013. Today, Chidi is a co-founder at Publiseer, one of the largest digital publishing companies in Africa, as described by Combini. Publiseer has helped over 8,000 underserved and independent African creatives living in low-income and disadvantaged communities to earn above the minimum wage and live above the poverty line from the sales of their creative work. Chidi is a one young world ambassador, Dalai Lama Fellow 2020, Acumen Fellow, and was recognized as one of the most powerful young Nigerians for the year 2021 by Y Naija. Welcome once again, Chidi.
Yeah, thank you once again.
Yeah, so you have the room now.
Yeah, so today I'm talking about founder market fit. I spoke about this earlier, and this is a very important component for the success of a startup. Most times we focus on product market fit, we worry about the problem that we're solving, and we focus a lot about the solution we are building and how beautiful it is, how the technology behind it, and if it's better, than the competition. Usually, first-time founders usually focus a lot on product market fit because they believe that with a good product, you are definitely going to become successful and the customers will definitely use it. But in reality, it's not true. Product market fit is one part of the puzzle. Founder market fit is as equally as important as product market fit. And founder market fit just speaks to the competence of the team, the founder, and the team that is bringing the solution to market. How clear do you guys understand the industry that you're operating in? Um, because I always say that for a startup to be successful, you're using technology, but your product or whatever you're building should work regardless of technology. Technology should be there to just make it easier, make it faster, to make it better. And if you're operating in an industry that you don't have any knowledge about, and you're just getting into it because you believe it's lucrative, then it's going to be very difficult for you to execute, properly in such industry. Someone, if your competition knows the industry better than you, they know the stakeholders better than you, they are better equipped, or they know the trends better than you, understand the direction in which the market is moving, then they are always going to constantly build in the right direction, and you will always build in the place that you always build with guesses, believing that this is what people want. Just the way when you're building your solution, you put the user in the center, become making it a user-centric solution. It's the same exact way when you're building it. you have to put your team in the center as well. Your team has to understand how best to bring this to market. And that's why most times investors always ask you, why are you the right person to do this? Let me give you an example. For example, I have a physics background. I studied physics at the university. And let's imagine someone who has a medical background. And so they studied medicine, or some sort of healthcare course in school. And then I'm designing a solution in the healthcare space. And they are designing a solution also in the healthcare space. And aside the part that they were trained in the healthcare space, they have also worked in the healthcare space for about 15 years. And I have no understanding about the healthcare space. I just have a passion about it, maybe because something happened to a close member of mine, and and it was a healthcare problem, and I felt it was not, and I felt like I should be the one to fix it because I I'm connected to the problem as well because something bad happened to a close a close friend or family member. It will not be enough to guarantee success as someone who was trained in the healthcare space and has spent the past or the last decade in a building or working in that space because they understand where the sector is moving. They understand how the sector or the dynamics in the sector. They know the right people to help them to execute something or to bring something to market. I'm just a newbie. All I have is passion, or I have experience, but not in the relevant industry. It's just the same way when you're trying to build, you're trying to get a job, and then you use a CV for a product manager, to try to get the job of a software developer. It's not going to work because you have experience, true, but you do not have the right experience. And so that's the same thing when you're building. Founder market fit speaks to the fact that you have the right experience to bring or to lead your team to success. The sector in which you're building is something that you're familiar with. You understand the sector so well. You know how to build a solution, and not necessarily build a solution that's for that market, but how to navigate the challenges because you've experienced, you've been able to navigate the challenges earlier, maybe with as an employee of a healthcare startup as well. But you have the relevant understanding of the industry. You know the right people to say, hey, can you help me to do this, and can you help me to do that? And that's the reason why a good number of startups fold up, not because they did not build the right solution. No, not because that their founders are not experienced. They are, but not in that sector. So they don't really know what they're doing. And you send investor investing into a team that have not built a product yet, or into a team that the solution is not clear yet. What is only clear is the problem, and you're wondering why. It's because the team or the founder behind, behind, or that's leading the team has the relevant experience to be able to do this. The person has been able to demonstrate to the investor that, he has been able to demonstrate founder market fit, that they are the right person to do this. They have the right expertise, they know the right people, they have they have industry knowledge, and they can bring this, and they have, you know, a good history of execution. And so if you are a first-time founder, that's the most first-time founders always lean on the part of product market fit because they don't really have much past record or much industry understanding or insights. And that is not a bad thing. Obviously, people who have founder market fit at some point in the past did not have founder market fit. At some point in the past, people would say they are not the right people to do it. And so if at some point you realize that, hey, I don't have founder market fit right now, but this is what I want to do, you can still do it regardless. But I would advise that you get the right people. You get co-founders to work with you that have the relevant industry knowledge, that have the right connection, that have the right track record of execution in this industry. Or if you're not able to get that, you're able to get people who that have done this in the past, people who have the right track record in your industry, and put them on your advisory board. They are going to serve as your compass. They're going to be like the navigator. People that would help you not to make costly mistakes. People that will help you to introduce you to the right people that will help you in your entrepreneurial journey. They're going to help you to make lesser mistakes, less costly mistakes, point you to the right direction, help you in your execution, help you in your operations and so on. Another thing to consider is when you're raising funding. A lot of people just raise funding because of money. Hey, this there's money. This investor is offering money, and so I want to give I want to give them equity in the business. I would advise not to do that. When you're raising funding, just as the investor is doing due diligence on you, the investor is trying to understand, are you the right person or the right team to fund? Is this the right venture to put my money into? You as a founder have to do your own due diligence. You need to ask yourself a question: is this investor the right investor for me? Because investors are not mostly valuable because of the money they're going to give to you. That's one part of the value they're going to give to you. The most important value they will give to you is industry insights. So ask yourself a question: does this investor, have they funded any startup in my sector before? Did they have industry knowledge about about this industry? What do they have any knowledge about my industry? Can they point me in the right direction? Can they help me to get to get partnerships that will contribute a lot to the growth of my startup? Would they help me when I'm trying to bring my solution to market? What can they offer to me that was as valuable to me other than money? And you'd realize they will give you that. Is where you're going to get more value than that money cannot possibly buy, honestly. So make sure that if you're a founder, maybe first time founder, you don't have founder market fit yet, the industry is something that you don't even have to be a first time founder to have founder market fit. You could be a first time founder and still have founder market fit because you've operated in the industry. Maybe you're a farmer in the past, and or you used to work with your father, and your father is a farmer, and you're trying to bring something into the agri-tech space that helps farmers. Then you have found a market fit because you have industry insights about about the sector you're trying to go into. So, but if you don't have that industry insight, try to get co-founders that can that do have it. Try, and if you can get that, or you can get that, also try to get advisors, experienced individuals in this sector that can advise you properly and help you to navigate the waters, and also in the investors as well, that can help you as well. And also partners are very also important to help you to demonstrate founder market fit to your investors. If you are not the right person, you're not so great. Are you partnering with an organization that have years of experience in this industry, that are renowned, people respect them? That can also help you to demonstrate founder market fit, because they are still within your operation ecosystem, and they are still going to help you in terms of gaining traction and achieving product market fit as well. So those are the 4 things you can do to achieve founder market fit, in case you do not have it at the moment. And if you have any questions, I think I am open to questions now. Yeah.
Okay, guys, please, if you have questions, you can type your question in the comment section, or if you wish to be led to the studio, I'll be dropping the link now so that you can come up and ask your question. Otherwise, please type in your question so that you get you so that the speaker gets to see your question. We are waiting for you. Please type your questions if you have any. Okay, so let me ask a quick one while we are waiting for them to come up with your question. So, Chidi, I would love to ask, following the earlier example you gave concerning a doctor and then you yourself, what if you have the passion or the drive to make the business work, not withstanding that you don't have the relevant background, but then you are driven maybe because of the personal experience you had. Maybe let's say a relative had a medical issue and all, and you are more driven than the person who has the relevant background. What is your take on that? Because we've seen a lot of startups who are driven, notwithstanding they don't have the background, but then the personal experience they had, for example, in health, made them to make the business work. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I remember some years ago, I think it was 4 years ago, I was asked that question, passion, over, experience. And I said passion. And the reason why I said passion was because, someone could be experienced but still not have the passion. But someone who is passionate can, try to get the experience. But regardless, passion is very important, but technology is equally as important. So if you are very passionate, you can be the person to lead the team. However, it's very important that you get on your team people who have experience, people who are going to help you to make the right decisions, people who are going to turn your passion into relevant, success. So your passion is going to drive the team, but their experience is going to help to make the team make the right decision, do the right things, execute properly, and scale very quickly, rather than making so much mistakes that would help that would break the bank and make you and lose help you make you lose a lot of money and slow down the rate in which you're growing. So it's very important that that if you have the passion, you should try and get someone on your team that has the experience, so that your burn rate is not over the roof. You're not always making costly mistakes that will really put your startup growth in jeopardy. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So pick that. So guys, you heard him. Even if you don't have the background or the relevant experience, get someone that has the relevant experience into your team. So we have a question here. What industry? Someone is asking you what industry you're operating in and what are some of the challenges encountered in your journey and how you overcame them.
Yeah, so I'm operating in the some people would like to call it media and entertainment. I would love to call it digital media industry. And some of the challenges that we experienced, was on the part of copyright infringement. It was a very big issue for us. Distributing content for creators when they do not own all the rights or any of the rights in question. So it was very difficult for us. So we the way we were able to solve the problem, I wouldn't say we've solved the problem 100%, but I think we've done this about 80%. We've solved the problem about 80%. So we started working with the guys at Google, through the Google Ally program, and this gives us, give us access to the Google Play Store database, and so we run originality checks, periodically on the Google Play, store database to be to verify or to be sure that the content that we are distributing are 100% original. And yeah, this has really helped us, a lot, but we would love to have us access to other database, that we distribute to, so that we can be sure that 100% that the content that we are distributing are original. This has been the challenge for us as a startup since inception, and we've been able to solve this problem 80%, and we hope that we are able to solve this problem 100% very soon. Any other questions?
So guys, if you have more questions, please drop in your questions now or use the link to come up to the studio to ask your question. Please make it quick. Otherwise, I think the speaker can probably continue with the session or find finish up if there's any other thing left.
So I would say, it's important to know that you can have found a market fit without having any experience in the industry. So your founder market fit can stem from the fact that, one, you have you're trained in school, as maybe, in the sector. For example, you're a doctor or you're a healthcare practitioner, but you've not started practicing yet, and you're trying, out of school, fresh out of school, you're trying to create a healthcare startup. That can still demonstrate founder market fit because you understand the industry as well, from school. Also, founder market fit can also be achieved, not necessarily, but can be achieved from the fact that it's within the ecosystem that you're familiar with. For example, let me give you an example. Imagine a Kenyan coming into Nigeria to make a startup for Nigerians. Will be a little bit tricky because they don't have founder market fit. They might have the industry understanding, but in Kenya, but they don't have the industry understanding in Nigeria because there are certain, shifts in dynamics. There was this startup in Egypt, this mobility startup in Egypt, and so they had great results in Egypt, but they were trying to expand, to Nigeria and to Kenya, but they did not understand that the logistics of the mobility industry in sub-Saharan Africa is quite different from how it looks like or how it works in Egypt, and so they came to Egypt and Nigeria believing that they understand it, that they have found the market fit. Unfortunately, they were struggling to compete with the local startup, or with the local logistics or mobility, let's put it, with the local mobility solution in Kenya and in Nigeria. And so they had to fold up, a couple of years and just had to move back to Egypt. And this shows that the geography or the demography, of where you are is very important, is very important as well. And also, demographic, age demographic can actually demonstrate founder market fit. For example, if you're building something for people within your age bracket, you understand them better than someone who is way older, or much older than your age bracket. So if I'm building something for people who are like say between 18 to 24 or 25. I'm older than that, and so I might not be the right person because I do not think in that same frame. So it's, you know, I might understand the industry, but not what these youngers are, or these young people are thinking about. So founder market fit can be demonstrated in several ways. Mostly they're trying to understand, founder market fit is trying to understand the linkage between the founder, the person who is bringing the solution, to the customers. How do you understand the customers? How do you understand the ecosystem? Do you understand the ecosystem you're operating in? Do you understand the customers that you're trying to build for? If you do understand all these things, then you have demonstrated founder market fit. But if you do not have, that understanding because you have not experienced it, then you do not have found the market fit, and you need to get someone who does. For example, let me see if I have another demonstration of found the market fit. If I'm trying to build something for people of the macro community, which is like a low end, or a lower income community in Lagos, Nigeria, I was not born in such community. I don't know what it is to struggle, and to really experience ultra poverty. I never experienced it, and so not experiencing it, I don't have that connection yet. But then imagine a founder who has that connection, who understands what it means to experience ultra poverty, and they're trying to solve a solution on that ultra poverty level. That is great because they understand it in a very personal level or first hand level. But if I am trying to solve a problem in the creative industry, in publishing industry, as I am a writer, I understand the industry very well, and I can create a solution for them. So that demonstrates founder market fit. Do you feel what's the question again? Do you feel satisfied at your current level of achievements? Why do you choose the digital media space? Well, I chose the digital media space because I understood it. So let's say I was able to demonstrate founder market fit. I write. My twin brother is a musician, and so we understand the creative industry a lot, and we have a tech background, building and exiting startups in the past, So we felt, or we believe, that creating a solution in the publishing industry, in the digital media industry, is it's the right thing to do because we understand both the tech part and both the creative part, and so we're able to to fuse both on experience in both industries together to be able to create success or to achieve traction. And am I satisfied at my current level of achievement? I'm not satisfied. I don't think any human being is satisfied at the level where they are, except you are comfortable with being complacent, and I am not. I think there's a lot of things that I have to do, or that has to be done, and that a lot of things are way ahead of me. And technically, I'm still a young person, and there are a lot of things, there are a lot of years ahead of me, and there are definitely a lot of things that we achieve, in the future. So, am I satisfied? I'm not satisfied. Am I happy? Yeah, I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve, because I achieved it from ground up, and I'm happy that regardless of the challenges I experienced, I was able to overcome the hurdles, and I was able to get to where not where I want to be, but where I wasn't, in the past. And so, yes, I am proud of my achievement, but I'm not satisfied at it. And I think there's another question. I do not know that the question. I think he gave another question. What specifically are you doing in the digital media space? Okay, what am I doing in the digital media space? That's a very good question. So um, I discovered, what will I say? My co-founder and I discovered three problems in the creative industry. One is that the distribution fees of existing aggregators were too expensive for independent content creatives. The second one was that they do not distribute to African digital service providers because they were not created for us in the first place. And the third one is that the royalty payment systems were not feasible for us, and so because they paid in things like PayPal and Stripe, and these are things that we were not, we don't have access, and we still don't have access to, and so we set up to create a digital aggregator tailored for African, content creators. And along the line as well, we discovered the fourth and the fifth problem. The fourth problem was that over 50% of content, being distributed to digital service providers don't often get to these service providers due to error and poor quality. And the ones that eventually do get to these platforms are often returned by end user due to neglected errors in the past, or on the side of the DSPs. And so we've sought out to create a digital service, a digital aggregator that doesn't only distribute content as we receive it, but fine-tune the content to ensure quality. And then we protect the content to ensure that the content actually owned by the creators. Then we distribute to over 425 DSPs to ensure that the content easily get discovered and are easily monetized. And the creators get to receive their royalties into African tailored payment systems, such as into the local bank account or through the mobile money wallet, which is very African friendly. Yeah. Is there anything you feel or regret you could have done earlier in business journey? Yeah, I felt will I say I don't regret anything, because if I was to do it all over, I would do it the exact same way. But obviously, I wish I started it earlier, But I believe I started it at the right time, because that was the time I discovered the problem, and that was the time, I understood how I was going to solve the problem, But if I discovered the problem earlier and designed the solution on time, obviously I would really have loved, that, because that would have ensured that we're in the market longer enough, and we would have maybe, obviously, hopefully by now, achieved more traction than where we are at the moment. But I wouldn't regret anything. If I would have started earlier, obviously everybody would have loved to start earlier. But technically, I think I started early as well, because I started as soon as I was better equipped to know what the problem is and what the solution can be.
Okay, I think that's the final question. Yeah, I think that's the final question, Chidi.
Okay, if
That's
that's the final question, it was always a pleasure talking about founder market fit. Um, and my last statement would be that do something that you not do not venture into an industry because everybody's venturing into it and it looks promising and lucrative. A lot of people venture into fintech because they believe it's heavily funded. A lot of people venture into healthcare because they believe that there's heavy funding there. But I would say that venturing into an industry that's familiar to you, something that you understand properly, something that that makes a lot of sense to you. A lot of people don't know that Uber was not the first e-hailing service. We had another called Magic Ride in somewhere in Europe that launched with the exact same model, but they had to fold up 4 months later because of poor execution. They did not understand. They did not have industry understanding. The founders did not understand the mobility industry well enough, and so they were not able to, execute properly. But the idea, the business model, was exactly identical to that of Uber. But Uber was able to understand how to go to market, and how to, enter the market, get the users trust, and then expand with it. So it's very important that as you're building a solution that you're very passionate about, that you ask yourself, are you the right person to do this? Are you the right, if you're not the right person, do you have the right team? If you don't have the right team, do you have the right advisors, advising you? And the person that you're trying to raise funding, from, do they understand the industry well enough to give you more than just money? These are questions you should ask yourself while building your product.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you very much, Chidi, for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the experience shared, and thank you for the insights. So we look forward to engaging more with you. So, guys, if you have more questions for him, you can send your questions in the on the page, or you can reach out to him on social media. He's very active on social media. So, thank you once again. We wish you the best of the weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. So, guys, your next session is tomorrow. So, you'll be communicated with regards to the time and all on the page. Thank you and enjoy.
Don't be like this.